Hi, I'm going to be breaking down one of the possible negative effects as a result of DEI. Now let's look here at this example. Suppose we have two groups, Group A and Group B. Both groups are of equal competence. This is shown in the average IQs being equally at 100. Now let's suppose that one group has a larger population than another. This will be shown with Group A having a population of 1,000 people, while Group B has a population of 100. Now we'll be looking at this through the lens of a business owner. A business owner is only going to want to hire highly competent employees for certain roles. Now the way that we're going to determine who is highly competent is it's going to be a percentage of each population. This percentage will be equivalent due to the fact that the average IQ, which we are using to determine competence, is equivalent through both groups. We will say that 10% of each population is highly competent. We will result in 100 people in Group A being highly competent and 10 people in Group B. Now, just because Group A has more people than Group B that are classified as highly competent does not mean that the people of Group A are more intelligent than the people of Group B. This is just because Group A has a larger population. Now, what this results in DEI is say that you are hiring at Company A. Now, Company A wants 50% of their employees to be from Group A and 50% of their employees to be Group B. That way they are equally diverse. Let's say they have 50 employees. To make it fair, they will take the top candidate from each group to join the company. So they'll take the first one from Group A, then one from Group B, then another from Group A, and so on and so forth until they get to 50. But what happens is as they get to 10 on both, what you'll see is there's 10 people hired from Group B and 10 people hired from Group A. Group B only has 10 people that are highly competent. So that means when Group A
And
adds
then the
the 11th
11th member of Group B is no longer
highly competent. Now, this is not due to the lack of competence of the people in Group B, but rather due to the population size. Now, if you look here, there's only 10 people in Group B that are highly competent, while in Group A, there's 100. The reason why this matters, though, is because if you go all the way up to get to 25 each, which would be equally diverse and fill the company, you begin to realize that when you compare them to the total number of competent people in each group, or highly competent that is, Group A, the 25 people hired is less than the people that are highly competent in Group A, thus meaning that if they hired correctly, the 25 people hired from Group A are highly competent, though this is shown in contrast when looking at Group B, because the 25 people hired from Group B is greater than the 10 people that Group B has that are highly competent, which then leaves 15 people that Company A hired that are not highly competent, when instead they could be hiring from the other 75 people in Group A. So they would take only 10 highly competent people from Group B and then 40 from Group A. Let's look at another scenario. we're still going to have group A, which has 100 people that are highly competent, and group B, which has 10 people that are highly competent. And again, these are based off of percentage of population and not due to the fact that one group is more intelligent than the other. Now, in this example, we are going to have 5 companies. Company B, Company C, Company D, Company E. Now, each of these companies are in a competing industry. They're all competing against each other. And they are hiring from the available pool. So that means there is 110 total highly competent people and 1,100 in the total population. So this is highly competent, and this is total population. Company A gets first dibs. And each time they take somebody, they're going to take somebody from each group. So Company A will take the most competent person from Group A and the most competent person from Group B. Then the Company A will take the second most competent person from Group A and the second most competent person from Group B. Then C will do the third, D will do the fourth, and E will do the fifth. Then it comes back to Company A, and Company A will take the sixth best of Group A and the sixth best of Group B. Now it's going to go and go and go until we get to, so what, this would be 7th, this would be 8th best, this would be 9th best, and this would be 10th best. So by the time it comes back around to the 3rd round of drafting employees or recruiting employees, Company A gets a hire from Group A, and then they go to look for a hire for Group B, and they come and realize is since this is now the 11th person hired from Group B, and there are only 10 highly competent people in Group B, that this person hired in Group B is less competent. So now, should this person who is less competent be hired before somebody from Group A that is highly competent? That is the question. Another good way of this is imagining there's 26 companies, so that would be Company A through Company Z. By the time it gets to the 11th company that gets to take 2 employees, and they would take one from Group A and one from Group B because they are following DEI and want to be diverse. This 11th company would no longer be able to take a highly competent employee from Group B because all the Group B highly competent employees will be taken. Thus, companies in draft position 11 onward will not have a highly competent worker if that worker is from Group B. Pretty much what I'm trying to get at is if you take 2 groups that are equally competent on average, but different population size or participation in a given field, the efforts to proportionally represent both groups can lead to situations where the smaller group's pool of highly competent individuals is exhausted before the others. In this example, Group B's population of highly competent employees was exhausted before Group A's. Now, this does not mean that Group A is more competent than Group B. What this means is that there's a greater population of Group A that is highly competent due to the fact that they have a higher population that is participating in the field than Group B does.